Welcome
to talk about relationship, where we explore the sacred intersection of relationship and spirituality. I'm your host, Ayola Roland. The primary goal of a relationship is marriage. And one of the fundamental purposes of marriage is relational. This means whether you get into a marriage forcefully or voluntarily, companionship should ensue. Intimacy should grow, love should be seen, and love should be felt. The relational purpose of marriage is one of the few reasons a lot of young people are looking forward to getting married. Because at the end of the day, we're relational beings, so who wouldn't look forward to marriage? While this is an ideal, we all know that this is not the reality for many married couples. And the sad part is, many singles do not consider this a possibility. We look at people that are maybe unhappy in their marriages or in their relationships, and we just assume that this would never be me. We just assume and look at it from the outside, not realizing that we could or we might actually end up in that same situation. There are many seemingly happily married couples today that when you get into their personal space, you realize that their reality is far from what they had envisaged. This is to say that they were once single as well, they were once by themselves as well, and they looked at other people going through similar experiences and just assumed this would never be them. But they still went ahead, fell in love with someone, their love was reciprocated, and they got married to that person. 1 year, 6 months down the line, they are in the same bucket as the people that they judged from the outside. Before you ask the question, why does this happen? I need us to come to an understanding that this might be a reality in our future. Let's take a step back and see it from a different perspective. When you see two people getting a divorce today, what comes to mind? Two people getting into a divorce today means they were once married, which means they were once in love with one another, which also means they were once single. So these were essentially two single people like you and I that also thought they knew better and they thought there was a way around it. They went ahead, they fell in love, they got married. Happily married for a few months or few years, and now the marriage has come to a point of divorce. In my personal study, I find this to be a cycle, especially with this current generation. People are quick to fall in love. They have a lot of love to give, so in love that the next step is to be married. But for some reason, either 10 years down the line, 25, 30 years down the line, everyone seemed to come to that point of wanting to get separated from the same person that they couldn't do without. So now the question is, why does this happen? The other question is, will this ever happen to me? Remember, people going through divorce also had the opportunity to answer this question. Now imagine the disappointment to know that you have all this time to avoid being part of the statistics, but at the same time you refuse to take the chance today. You just assume that because you speak Christianese, this is going to go past you and your case will be different. That might not be the case. I did some studies and I look back even into the Bible. We all know about Leah in the Bible, Leah, Jacob's first wife. She was a young girl, happy in her father's house, and she got married to Jacob. The marriage was consummated. When I considered the life of Leah, she lived a very sad life. Leah's marriage to Jacob was filled with failed negotiations. The Bible started out saying it in Genesis 29, I believe, verse 30, that Leah was hated by her husband. Then I read on, hoping that something was going to change. Then you will come to the realization that every child that Leah birthed was a bargaining chip with her husband. I can go through the book of Genesis chapter 29 and piece by piece show you every effort that Leah made to be united with her husband. And when I say united, I mean to experience her husband. At some point, she had to pay to hire her husband's service to sleep with her. This was a man that married her, consummated the marriage on the night of their wedding day. How on earth would you be married to a man? Then you have to bargain your way throughout that marriage with the man. Every time she gave birth, it was a bargaining chip with her husband. And we need to understand that they lived at a time when men were the primary providers for their families, while women primarily kept the home. So every time a family had a boy, it was a joyful thing because this is another person that is going to provide for another family. Now, Leah gave birth to her first son. One would assume that Jacob will be excited about it and, consider her a wife. But he didn't. It was so known in the family and even in the extended family that Leah was hated, that Leah's first response when she gave birth to her first child was that the Lord has heard that I am hated. She gave birth to the first boy, second, third, fourth, fifth, and even until the sixth one. And she was still hoping to be honored as a wife. Meanwhile, Rachel was still barren. One would expect that for a man to get what he wants from his wife, then that should turn into his joy and happiness and should make him fall in love more with his wife. Tell me how this is different from the marriages we experience today. A lady falls in love, she gets married to this man, she's able to do everything for him. She cooks, she cleans, she does things expected of a woman, and yet the man does not love her. The curse of Leah. I need us to understand that Leah's reality is prevalent in today's world. So as a young person, as a single believer, before you assume that this would never be the case for you, before you start judging other people, this is a possibility in your future. Now the question is, how do you avoid this being your reality? The curse of Leah should not be experiential in your life. There is a way around it. The Bible says, if the foundation is faulty, what can the righteous do? I believe the righteous can pray. Prayer remains the pillar to change the life, to change situations. If you do not pray, then your reality is going to shock you. Prayer is the only thing we know today that breaks curses, that breaks yokes, that changes things, that turns things around. Do not fall into the trap of course correction. So now that you're still single as a believer, why not prepare? Play your part. Do what you need to do today so that you don't end up course correcting in that marriage. And one of the major things in preparation for that marriage today is to pray. Pray fervently. Pray every time. And this prayer is not just, oh God, help me to help you. No, not those kind of prayer. I mean serious prayer. Dedicate time, whether once a week or once every 2 weeks, to pray just about your marital future. This is not even about finding the person yet. No, this is about when the person comes. What will be my experience with them in the next 15, 20 years? Will this love be sustained over the period of our marriage till death indeed do us part? That is what you're praying about. We're praying for strength, for grace, for God to help us to stand. The Bible says the heart of a king is in the hand of the Lord, and like a course of river, the Lord directs it to wheresoever he pleases, which means the heart of that man you're going to get married to, the heart of that woman you are going to get married to is also in the hand of God, and God can direct their heart to love you. God can direct their heart to please you. God can direct their heart and sustain the love that both of you share. Today's episode is a call to prayer so that the curse of Leah will not be your portion. Every time Leah gave birth, she negotiated and she hoped that things were going to get better. In marriages today, it's the same experience. People are together and every day, every good deed is to win the favor of their spouse. That is the reality of the curse of Leah that has afflicted many marriages today. We need to pray. At this point, I would like to invite you to join my free community where we get together once in a while to pray about relationships, to pray about marriages. I didn't put today's episode together in order to invite you, but just as I was speaking, I realized that there might actually be people out there listening to me that would like such a community where you can get together to pray and people can hold your hand through the process. And I realized that it might be a good place to invite you to join my community. It is free. As I bring today's episode to a close, I would like to encourage you, as always, to share this with a friend, share this with another believer that is hoping and trusting God for marital settlement and marital bliss. Until next time, stay trusting and God bless you.